Hi everyone, I'm Julia, studying for my Bachelor of Business at James Cook University here in Singapore.
Today, continuing our authentic conversation series with our alumni student marketers about their journey from campus to careers in Singapore. Before we get into it, there are some technicalities about this program that we have to discuss. Firstly, this session will be recorded and available on our student marketer LinkedIn page for those who cannot join us live.
And just a quick reminder, the opinions shared today are based on our personal experience as student marketers and may not reflect necessarily the official views of James Cook University Singapore. So if you have any question during the session, feel free to type them in the Q&A chat box below, and we will address them at the Q&A session at the end.
Now, our two alumni guests, who have so kindly joined us today, Nicholas and Galeen, both who have graduated from James Cook University Singapore. Nicholas, why don't you start us off by introducing yourself and sharing your degree that you've graduated from and subsequently your journey from graduation to where you are now.
Sure. Hi everyone, I'm Nicholas. Previously I graduated from JCU in the Bachelor of Psychological Science, the same as you. And now I'm actually doing in the research field and I'm still stuck here doing my PhD.
Kelly?
Hello everybody, my name is Galeen Bhatia, and I did my bachelor's in Dubai, but I did a short course here, which is a graduate in psychology science. So it was a short course, but great learning, and that's where I started. I moved into Singapore, and that was the first thing which I did. I took a tiny degree, so it definitely gave me a good, understanding about the culture.
So thank you both for being here. Now let's get to why we are really here, exploring how our university experiences have prepared or perhaps surprised us for the realities of professional life in Singapore. Let's start with the first questions of the day. I think everyone would like to know how you guys adjusted from university life to the 9-to-5 work routine in Singapore. So Nicholas, let's have you start first.
Certainly. Well, so for me, I've had the privilege of not being fixed to a rigid 9-to-5 schedule.
Yeah.
So I'm in the research field, and most often than not, we actually do things based on an as-needed basis. So most often I will come in like at 10, 11 a.m. in the morning, late morning, and I'll just leave in the evening later after that. So it's actually very, very much more relaxed for me compared to in JCU when I was still doing my bachelor's. Yeah.
Well, was there once a time where you were actually fixed to a 9-to-5?
Well, I suppose when there is appointments or there are meetings that you have to get to, like for example, there are some times where I have to have international meetings with international clients and stuff like that, and that would be horrible. I have to wake up in the middle of the night. It was like 2 a.m. meetings, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
in fact,
Galeen, please.
Oh yes.
Yes. So, in fact, I transitioned from 9-to-5. It was pretty easy for me because I started on my internships pretty early, like second year of my university. So it was quite okay. The shift was quite smooth for me. But again, the current role which I'm doing is not just 9-to-5. It's more like 24 hours. And once in 6 months, we have to do a complete 24-hour shift. So getting a call at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., you got to make sure, you're in it.
Isn't it super tiring?
It is very tiring. And by the end of the month, I'm like, I want to get done with it. And, I don't want to do it. But again, I think 9-to-5 is, it's fun once you get used to it because you get into the routine.
It's very easy to just predict.
It's very easy. Yeah, absolutely. And after 6, you have nothing to do. You can do your own thing.
Oh, yeah.
There's a kind of safety to it, I think. Right? It's a safety to 9-to-5, knowing that you can end at 5 p.m. every day.
Yeah.
That's kind of relaxing.
You can't be called after that as well.
Okay,
whatever.
Probably, yes. Yeah. So
well, thank you so much, both of you, for your insights. Now, the next question for the both of you is, what skills from your university days helped you the most in your early career? Nicholas, why not you go first?
Oh yes, okay. Well, I would say since I did my bachelor in psychological science, right, there was a lot of research methods that we studied during then, and then as you would know, right, they actually do come in handy very often.
Yes.
Like especially when you are first out into the workplace and it's an entry level kind of job, you are usually not doing those high level order thinking and conceptualization frameworks and such. You're usually doing all the very simple stuff, more simple stuff like literature review, like the basic literature reviewing, data entry, data analysis, data cleaning, and things like this. And I feel like it's a skill that actually helps you in regardless of whatever field that you're into. So a little context of that, I actually started out in the healthcare field. So I started out my first job was in the Singapore General Hospital. Okay, technically my first job was in JCU, and then after that, my first job outside of JCU was in the Singapore General Hospital. So I was part of 2 large population projects on something about diabetes, and then after that, I went over to NIE. So I did educational research there, and then now I'm in the School of Law. So a very wide range of fields, and the skills that we use, that we learn during bachelor's is universal. I use the exact same skills across all these disciplines.
What skills might those be?
The ones that I just said, literature reviewing, data coding,
Maybe you can elaborate.
and so literature reviewing is reviewing the.
So Colleen, how was it for you?
Well, for me, it
Just a
was
video
quite basic. I mean, honestly, time
I'm
management
sorry, I changed.
which really helped me with, shifting from university to corporate. So time management was something which made it very easy for me. And because I have been doing it since, in fact, when you have your essays, you have deadlines. So, you have a certain time period for that. So I think living up to those, it kind of makes you easy and makes you responsible enough to, once you move into your corporate, it's just more easy. It's just more easy. So I think time management definitely, and willingness to learn. Because when you go to the real world, there are going to be things which are not going to be easy. But if you're willing to learn, it's you're going to enjoy it. So yeah.
Definitely.
So great perspective from you both. I believe working in Singapore brought some challenges. Could you maybe share a challenge you faced and how you managed to tackle? Why don't we start with you?
Okay. Well, I guess one of the early challenges, as a fresh grad, so maybe that would be a little bit more relatable. So one of the early challenges I faced was just getting hired. Just getting your first job. And I feel like
It's a pretty big hurdle.
it is a very big hurdle, yes. And you do not know what to put in your CV, whether you're going to get hired or stuff like that. So I think the challenges is really just knowing how to get that interview. And when you do get that interview, what to do with it when you got it. So just taking some of my most recent experiences. So for the job that I have now, during my interview when I first was interviewed for the job, I didn't just answer questions. Instead, I posed questions for the interviewer. Yeah, it's like a Uno reverse card. And then ended up I was asking when she was asking me about my principal investigator, my boss now, when she was asking me about what value I can add to the project, what I can contribute to the project, I started asking her what was the project about and which part does she envision me being able to contribute. And then I would think a little bit outside the box and think, okay, so for context, it's a quantitative project, like a full quantitative project. So a lot of numbers, not a lot of words, basically. Then I was more of a qualitative major, so more of like words kind. And then I would suggest to her that, have you thought about a mixed methods approach? So basically combining both a numbers approach and a words approach to create value and make the project a little bit more wholesome. In that sense. And she loved it. And the interview was supposed to be half an hour. I think it stretched on for about 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it stretched on for about 2 hours. And eventually I got the job. But most of the time, I think I spent like 15 minutes with the prepared questions that she had. And the rest of the time was just off the top of my head, giving a proposal on the spot. A research proposal on the spot on how I'm able to contribute to it. Right. So eventually, after I was hired, this on-the-spot proposal became a MOE Tier 1 grant to support her actual project, which was the MOE Tier 2 grant. Yes. And then, and that's how I got the job, where I am today. something interesting, I think.
Yeah, and Galen, what do you make of all this?
Yeah, I mean, Nicholas is right. Like, the first thing I think getting hired is it's not easy to get hired. But I think also for me, because I had to transition from HR to IT.
Yeah.
So I think that was very challenging for me because HR was completely a people's job and this was like a technical role. So I think getting a switch
Yes.
was something which I had to really put in a lot of efforts to that. So it was challenging, but I also feel like also doing the course, the 6-month course which I did in JCU, it kind of made it easy for me because we had we had we had an aspect of it where we had organizational psychology.
Yeah.
So, to understand about, how do you work with, people around you and stuff. So it was good. It was good. But yeah, I mean, it was challenging, but I was willing to learn. So yeah.
Definitely very challenging, right? When we are shifting from one discipline to another.
Absolutely.
And IT and
HR.
HR is still.
Yeah, I went through that. I came from engineering and now I'm doing psychology.
Oh, wonderful!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I could probably vouch for the same
Yeah,
experience.
exactly.
Well, another question then for you guys is how important was networking in building your career here in Singapore? And do you have any advice for any up and coming new graduates? Why not we start off with Jolene?
Sure. I mean, when I moved to Singapore, I was very new to this place. So
Yeah.
for me, networking was the key, the key to, reach out to the potential recruiters and, be the right fit for the right job as well. So networking is very important. And I feel also building up on your CV on a very early start, you get into university, you build on your CV, learn probably a new course, put it up on the paper. It makes a huge difference. But I also feel like, like we were talking about it I think last time, that LinkedIn, Facebook, you join those groups, you can meet people. You can go for those seminars, the talk sessions, and you could probably introduce yourself to them.
Yeah.
That sort of helps. Networking is very, very
I
important.
can't imagine a time without LinkedIn then. Imagine that, like all this networking, but without LinkedIn, right? Back in the day.
I think we went through that time.
Yeah.
That's probably a couple years.
Yeah. We went through that time.
Yeah. Also, in fact, JCU careers.
Oh, yeah.
I first started meeting the recruiters and everybody through JCU careers, and that was the time where I entered the room and there were like 40 companies and recruiters sitting there. So I went in there, I spoke to them, dropped in my CV.
Yeah.
So it was good. I mean,
I
I
should
think
probably
it's
go
very
for one.
That
important.
sounds so
Yeah.
fun. I would love.
Yeah.
I would love to do
Fun.
that the next
At
time.
first, you just
Yeah.
started, you just got into the market and, everything is so exciting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, building up on yourself is important.
Yeah, actually, JCU has many events where you can have the chance to network to people. I mean, we often have speakers here on
Yeah.
campus, so it's a great chance to just get to know people from different industries.
Mm.
But what about you, Nicholas?
Oh, networking is ridiculously important. I don't know how many times I have come across certain projects. So okay, so
The main one, right?
Yeah.
The main one, right?
yeah, it's just
Okay.
yeah. So I don't know how many times because I'm in the research field, right? So I don't know how many times I actually started exchanging name cards and all
Yeah.
listening. It's
Yeah.
all right. Blah blah
You had
blah
name
blah blah. Yeah.
I should get some names.
Yeah, name cards definitely should approach our JCU services
Yeah.
for
Oh, they
name
do
cards.
that for you?
Yeah, exactly. So during conferences and academic meets, exchanges, the most recent one with University of Reading, Malaysia,
Oh,
actually,
wow.
JCU just signed an MOU with them. JCU just had a partnership with them
Yes.
recently. So yeah, and then I was there exchanging name cards, and from there I was able to network and get a potential collaboration with one of the professors from University of Reading. Yeah, many of my projects actually came that way through networking and professional networking. Yeah,
So
professional.
anything is possible. You just gotta be able to put yourself out there.
Okay, very good.
Whatever lah. Yeah.
Jolene, anything to say?
True. I mean, LinkedIn is the best space to, do that because I joined in a couple of groups on Facebook and LinkedIn and, I reached out to people. So they in fact told me about the events and seminars which were happening in Singapore. So I've met like people from all over the different, across different industries and different roles through those events. So I think being active on LinkedIn and making sure you're always like updating your CV is very, very important.
Well, is LinkedIn the only space, or is there other platforms as well?
Well, you do. LinkedIn is, I think, one of the main
It's probably the
platforms.
best.
The best, honestly, it's the
Are
best.
there any others?
Facebook as well.
Facebook
Facebook as well. If you join those groups, you're gonna get every updates on a weekly
right,
basis.
yes.
That's pretty good. And quite a few websites on Google as well. I mean, if you just Google, websites and events happening in Singapore, corporate events, and you can register yourself.
I see.
So just be very active. Is what I can say.
I think another good thing about LinkedIn is that it's usually like their full and actual name, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need to worry
Yeah.
about having nicknames or stuff
Yeah.
like that. When you know someone through their authorship or their names, and you can just directly search and key it in. More often than not, they are there,
Yeah.
and you can be able to find the
Yeah.
exact right person.
True.
I think it's a lot more easier to network that way. Yeah, LinkedIn is wonderful.
Well, we wrap up today's discussion by shifting to some advice for current or prospecting university students. For the two of you, looking back on your university experience, if you could go back in time and meet your younger self, what would the current you tell the younger you in terms of advice to better prepare for starting a career in Singapore?
Me?
Galene, go
Yeah.
first.
Sure. Well, not being scared to make a mistake
Right.
and always willing to speak up. I think not picking the opportunities and I think, being open to options. So I think if I did that early on, I mean, it's great. Like where I am here, I'm pretty grateful for what I have done. But of course, if the younger self, I think being confident and not being nervous to, approach somebody. I think if I would tell my younger self, it would be that.
Nicholas, what about you? What
Yeah,
do you tell
I
your
totally
younger self?
agree. In fact, for me, I feel like experience matters. That's what I would tell my younger self. The experience matters. So 7 years ago, there was no such thing as internship here in
It's all
JCU.
about grades.
Yes, or something like that. Yeah. So I would say that internships and internship modules actually help a lot. So a bit of context. I was on the hiring board for quite a number of the projects that I was on in the workplace before. And I can tell you, we never hired a full 4.0 or 7.0 GPA student before. We often look at their experiences instead. So when we are looking at your CV, that's another thing, right? Your CV, it needs to be customized. It cannot be like a generic thing. No one really wants to know that you're the captain of the football team or stuff like that. They want to know things that are relevant. So I was involved in a children's project before to do with children.
Yeah.
So we were actually looking out for any experiences students have, like applicants have with children. So things like volunteer work or any internships they may have done with any child-related jobs or positions actually help them a lot more to score higher marks in our selection process.
Like you would say, the grades are important, right?
Definitely.
But not the most important.
Not the most
Like,
important. I
you
would
guys
say
would more look out for like relevant
yeah,
experience.
relevant experience, like because that's more important to what we are looking for, especially for fresh grads. Like I said just now, right? Fresh grads, we don't expect you to be doing all the big frameworks and coming up with the big topics and stuff like that, or the research questions. We're often looking at how you can help us at the entry level. So things like data collection, data coding, data analysis, like simple data analysis. Like these are the things that we often are looking out for. So for research assistants, I think mostly we are looking out for data collections. So we're looking out for people who can help out with data collections. So if I'm going for to a primary school or something like this, I want to know that you can handle kids, especially in the whole class.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets really, really hard if you're not able to have experience with kids. So yeah, experience matters.
True. And I do have one more point to add.
Yeah,
In
sure.
fact, thinking out of the box, there was this case study, I think a couple of years ago, there was this girl and she really wanted to get a job in Netflix. So what she did was she made a cover letter, a CV with the Netflix theme, So that
What do you
kind
mean
of
by that?
a Netflix theme, the black and the
theme.
theme,
Okay.
the CV with
Okay,
her
I
theme and the
see.
cover letter
Wow.
with the theme.
Wow.
So she stood out. And she got
Definitely.
hired.
Yeah.
She stood
Well,
out.
a lot of people probably think it's very cliche, right? But actually, it ended up helping her.
In fact, there are people who make their own websites. They make their own Instagram or a different platform profile just about them. That and then they add the link on their CV, so they can scan and then just visit the link and see that this
Wow.
person's put himself everywhere. So
So creative.
yeah, it's very creative. I think
Yeah.
people do value that.
So
If you're
it's very
creative.
important to just put yourself out there.
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
easily accessible. People can find out about who you are.
Yeah.
That's very important, right? Well, amazing. Well, Nicholas and Galene, thank you both for your very valuable perspectives. we should now hear from our audience. To those watching, have you any questions for alumni about their experiences or thoughts on today's topics? Or is there anything that you guys would like to ask? Now will be the time to extinguish some very burning questions you've been wanting to ask. So anything?
So I think we have one question from Ellen. Thank you, Ellen, for the question. So what are the essential soft skills that employers are looking for? How would you answer that question?
Well, I think to be able to present yourself well,
Mhm.
to have a very good communication skills and
Mhm.
interpersonal as well. And recruit is also looking for team building.
Mhm.
How are you if you work with a team? How are you? How would you work with other colleagues of yours? So I think these skills are soft skills, but also I feel like you can differentiate between hard skills and soft skills,
Sure.
and then probably understand what are your strengths, your weakness, and then work on them. So, but yeah, recruiters might have vast variety of questions, but I think basic questions like how do you present yourself, and what's the way you speak and put yourself out there.
You can't really go without any of them, right? Because like
Absolutely.
you can't just have hard skills, you gotta have soft
Yeah.
skills as well. You have to be the perfect like all round.
All around 360.
So do you have maybe any advice for the audience how to improve on these soft skills?
Well, yes. I mean, individuals can be very different. They can be extroverts and introverts. So I
Yes.
think JCU does have a lot of events. You can join those communities, you can join those groups, be a part of it, build yourself, build network, talk to a lot of people, because the more people you talk to, you learn something from them.
Yeah.
So I think being very active in your university is very important. And I think JCU gives you that opportunity to, be a part of multiple events and, community affairs. And just like the webinar which we're having now, we have, I believe, too many webinars here, right?
Yeah, we have
JCU.
every month.
Every
Yes.
month.
Have a whole series.
Yeah. So be a
Yeah.
part of them, register yourself, and I think be active.
Nicholas, yourself.
I think for soft skills, there is a few ones that is the expected ones, right? Like what you said, like how you're able to have a good appearance, how you present yourself, and especially teamwork. I would say. So how you present yourself, mostly they will be able to, they won't ask you that, I think. It's
Yeah.
more of how you're dressed when you're going to the interview, how you sit and how you answer questions and stuff like that. So that's the kind of things that is like hidden questions that they don't really ask, they see it from there. And then for teamwork, I think teamwork is so important,
Yeah.
because whenever most jobs you actually have to work in a team, and some teams are really, really huge.
But there's hardly a solo job.
There's hardly a solo job. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. As a
yeah.
fresh grad, especially,
No way,
that's
yeah.
hardly a solo job. So often you have to work in really large teams with other people that are as inexperienced as you, or even more like super experienced more than you.
Yeah.
So really knowing how to be able to keep the team together, to keep the morale up, to be able to work together.
Yeah.
That is what hiring committees usually are look out for soft skills.
See, well, we move on to the next question. Shradya, I hope I'm not butchering that. For MBA students, she wants to know when they can start applying for internships, I guess.
Yeah, probably after, thank you for the question though. Probably 3 months you're in the university. You can understand, what are your interests, what are your strengths. And I think once you join university, start applying for jobs, start
Instant-
reaching out
just
instantly.
right away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying 3 months, but you can reach out to recruiters instantly, because it does take time. Hiring process
yeah.
is not
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
it's not very easy,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
there's a lot which goes about with it. So I think starting very early on is important. Even in fact bachelors. So internships, I don't think you need a certain age for that. So you can start internships when you just get into university, first year, second year. And the best part is that you can do internship in any field you like, because you're still exploring, you're still learning.
Yeah.
So I think it gets it's more fun, because you get to work in different fields, have a different exposure. And I think you can do it, you can try and test while you're in university. So yeah.
So like
must start
finding your
early.
passion, right?
Absolutely,
Kind of thing.
absolutely. Find your passion. And it's good. It's an opportunity for you to just try multiple things.
I suppose for MBA, I wouldn't know, but
But I suppose it
for
applies to everything.
yeah, I
right?
suppose it applies to everything. Because internships for JCU specifically, I would say,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong, for the Bachelor of Psychological Science, it's in the last year, the final year.
They've recently made like an internship module which you can take. As long as you've got enough study modules behind you, you can definitely go for this internship module. Not sure about during when you were studying a bachelor.
Oh, when I was studying, there's no such thing.
There's no such thing,
There's no such thing as
right?
internship. I had to do it the hard way. I had to
Yeah.
find a job with grades.
But
Just grades. Yeah, that was
but
that was hard.
then again, you'd say right away, right? Like
Yeah.
get on to finding an internship.
I mean,
right away.
definitely, yeah. I would say the internship is a very important experience. That
Yeah.
even so, I think in psychology, there are some unpaid internships,
Yes.
but those are important as well. So I have a story to share on that actually. One of my interns from JCU before actually did an unpaid internship for about 6 months.
Yes.
But at the end of her internship, she was offered a full-time contract
Oh.
for a job. Yeah, exactly. So that 6 months paid off.
Yeah.
She was well liked. She had all the soft skills, teamwork and stuff like that. And then she did really well. And then our boss really liked her, and then everyone really liked her, and then she ended up getting a full-time job. So that's why internships are so important. They really help you build that network, that academic and professional network that lets you be able to get hired through jumping over that early hurdle.
I see.
Mm.
Very good to hear.
Probably similar to volunteering, right? It
Yes.
Also
Mm.
upgrades
Oh,
your
yes.
CV.
Yes, exactly.
It gives you a lot of experience. Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah, we have a next question from Alan. Thank you for the question. How do I get prepared for the realities of workplace culture, such as teamwork and office dynamics?
Who wants to go first?
Maybe some practical
It's a heavy
advice.
question. This.
Realities of workplace culture, such as teamwork and office dynamics. You mean office politics? I think that's what you mean. That's what you mean. I suppose when you're okay, again, I'm speaking as an entry level, fresh grad, when you're first entering the workspace. I think just be open. Just be open to new opportunities. Don't
Mhm.
quickly choose a side. I think
Yeah.
for like office politics, don't choose a side.
Well,
Just
never pick a side.
never pick a side. Yeah, exactly. Be neutral. Be Singapore. Be be neutral. Make friends with everyone's your friend. So you can get like the most out of your workplace experience from the entire office and not just one side or the other. Because it's very restricting, I think.
Yeah.
Right? It's very restricting.
You want to
Just-
capture the whole office.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
Exactly.
just one.
You don't want to be a part of any sort of politics. Also,
Yeah.
because you've started on, you don't know,
Yeah.
I mean, what
Get
if
trapped.
You don't know where's the
Yeah.
winning side, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think just staying away from it and not probably just getting heat on it is important. But also teamwork, I think group projects are the first, I think it's just the beginning of, teamwork. Like we said,
Yeah.
be a part of group projects. Just it depends on how you would do the group project. If it's good, then of course teamwork becomes easy for you, once you move in the real world. But I think, just stay away from politics. Just do your work and try to learn, be willing to learn. So like, that there's every new work coming and, you're just learning. So I think building up on yourself, your profile is important.
Actually, for the teamwork thing, right, I was thinking that, so all the group assignments, group work that you have to do as a bachelor or undergrad or whatever you're studying here in JCU, that really helps you be able to learn how to work with others. And it's like a practice kind of thing, right? Practice makes
It's a very early
perfect.
taste of
It's a
what's
very
the-
early,
what to
it's a very
expect,
early
yes.
taste. But here's the thing, right? When you're doing it as students with other students, you can only see it on that level.
Yeah.
So I would encourage, students to actually go and explore other avenues of group work that you can learn how to have like those social skills, which is actually
Yeah.
soft skills as well.
Sometimes
And
even
then-
volunteering work provides you that kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Like join clubs in JCU. There's a very good one called Student Marketers. I would
Yeah.
definitely recommend that one. It's a really huge club, and then there's many different nationalities. You get to meet so many people. It's so multicultural. It's really fun.
Yeah, recently we just had the club drive, and in the sports hall, every club had a booth, so you could just go and sign up. We have this every trimester, but I guess you still can sign up for the
Yeah.
clubs. So yeah.
You can visit the next one.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Well, we have another question here from Safa. Like other countries in Singapore, are students allowed to work part-time while pursuing bachelors? Oh, I think we know the answer. But why not we tell them? Who wants to go first?
Like other countries in Singapore, are students allowed to work part-time while pursuing
I
bachelors?
think it depends on
depends.
It depends.
the
It
visa.
depends. Depends on the visa.
If you're international students, you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're Singaporean, you're
Yeah.
allowed
If
to.
you're an international student, if you're not taking pay, it's just like a volunteer thing. Is that okay or no?
Okay, so from a hiring committee perspective, like legit,
Yeah.
right? Okay. if you're a student, if you're an international student, as long as you're not being paid, technically you're not working.
Yeah.
In that sense. However, I understand that for the local universities in Singapore, actually they do have a quota that you can actually work up to like 16 hours a week or a month or something like that. That's a very small amount of quota. So that's why I would suggest that if you're an international student, go through the JCU's official internship, through like the
Registered.
careers. Yeah, exactly. And it's so much easier that way as well, because they already have so much connections with other companies
Half
and
the battle's
industry.
won.
Yeah, half the battle's won.
Yeah.
You can straight away, you know that you can get something from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than having to go out and go through like Job Street and then that takes so long. Yeah, exactly.
Exhausting.
Exactly. Yeah. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for the next question, Andy. Job market is very competitive. So my question be, how can we distinguish yourself amongst other candidates other than your resume? So I guess how to stand out from your competitors?
That's a great question.
Yeah, it's a good question and a hard one.
Yeah.
I guess.
For sure. I think also there are certain jobs which require specific skills.
Mhm.
Like IT could be, knowing how to do Python, Java,
Mhm.
iOS, Android, all of those back-end, front-end kind of, roles. So I think being able to, just speaking of, in the aspect of the technical side of it, building up on those technical skills, you might be able to stand out. Having a good certificate on it, I think that might definitely help. But I also feel like if you're going with a good approach,
Right.
I think that's good. You're speaking to everybody. You're mingling around. You're approaching everybody. I think you will stand out. You speak good, you will stand out.
Well, I think it's impossible to nail every interview, right? Because there's a chance you get rejected anyway. Even if you get it all right, it's
You're not suited for everything.
yeah,
right?
you're
exactly.
dealing with fellow
absolutely
humans
fine.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a machine.
Exactly.
So do you maybe have some tips how to stand out, especially in an interview?
It's more
Because I feel
increase
like
your chances.
because I feel like interview are very pressuring.
Very
And
pressuring.
yeah, it's like you have just a small amount of time where you want to present yourself and stand out, but it's on the other hand, you also want to act natural and just be kind and nice and show yourself. Do you have maybe tips?
Yeah, I mean, be crisp. Be very precise, be
Yeah.
very crisp, and
What else?
cross question the recruiter.
Yeah.
I think that just shows that you are, inquisitive, you are interested, you're curious.
Mhm.
So I think cross questioning and then just speaking, exactly what you have done, and speaking it really well helps. Be very crisp. You don't have to speak a lot.
Yeah.
A little bit is, it'll take you a long way.
Nicholas,
I totally agree. So actually, for students, there's a lot of things that we actually can participate in JCU, for example, like the 3-minute thesis competition. Actually, this kind of things really helps you be able to carry to like introduce yourself and introduce what you're able to do and everything in a very short and concise
like an
manner.
elevator speech.
It's like an elevator pitch. Yeah, exactly. So you get to be able to make the most out of your interview. And to pick up on what Darlene said as well for the cross questioning. Yeah. So instead of just answering questions, why not ask the interviewer questions themselves? So I remember there was one of or a few of my people that I hired before in one of my projects that actually they started asking us so much questions that we as the interviewers, it was me and my principal investigator, my boss, and then we felt like we were the ones being interviewed at that point. It was like a reverse card. Yeah, exactly. But we felt like the candidate had so much enthusiasm, so much passion, and they knew so much about the project, and they just wanted to find out what their role was, and they were telling us so much about what they can do for us, and we felt that really stood out. We felt like we were like held captive by the interviewee instead, and then that really stood out. Like at the end of the day, we go through like hundreds of interviews and stuff like that, and we really forget most of them. But that person that held us captive, we remembered her, and then we hired her in the end. Wow. Yeah.
Well, there's another question there then. Is there any age limit to undergo your degree in JCU, or I would assume age requirement? Not limit, right? I mean, they seem to be rather nervous to restart their journey after their education for 14 years.
Oh, so for mature,
Also,
for
limit
mature
that,
students.
limit makes, she's right there.
Oh yeah, not too young. It's
not too
the other way around. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I don't think there is, right?
No.
I don't think there is. Yeah, I don't think there is.
As long as you have the appropriate like background, you can.
Yeah, as long as you're eligible, you're eligible. Yeah, definitely.
I've just recently met someone from JCU who was like 30 years plus, already worked, and he was just doing his master's here in JCU
Mm.
part-time. So actually, we also have students who are actually employed, working, and then doing the studies full-time, part-time, sorry, yeah.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, especially for graduate modules, right? Courses, most of them are actually not most, but maybe like a good chunk
good amount
of them
yeah.
is actually working adults.
Yeah.
And like even for I'm speaking from a postgraduate standpoint, actually many of my so-called classmates, they are all quite matured. They're all quite matured in that sense. Yeah. Quite a good number of them, and they're doing really well.
They,
You know,
a lot of them have like a few number of years that they've worked first, right? Then
exactly.
they come back.
Yeah, many of them are CEOs of companies.
Oh,
actually.
wow.
Yeah, at least two that I know of. Yeah, in JCU here itself. They just really have that strive for learning, you know, that passion.
Yes.
And
That's impressive.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very,
Nothing
very
against coming
impressive.
back, right? Sure.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Learning is forever, right?
Yes.
Yes,
it's a-
exactly.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
for a
if you're
lifelong.
willing to
lifelong
learn,
learning.
if you're willing to learn, then a lot of people, like, Nicholas, you mentioned that people are working and they're doing
Mm.
part-time.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
not easy to do that,
No.
but I think also if you're willing to learn, you can pick up a degree at any age,
Yeah.
but of course you need to be eligible for it.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean,
And you don't even need to stop your job. Like
No.
Exactly,
I'm
you're
I'm
working.
working full time
Yeah.
and studying full time as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
How-
both.
How do you manage
It's
work-life balance?
like what Gerlin said, time management. Very, very important time management. Yeah.
Definitely very like the calendar will be very detailed. Right?
Oh, it's horrible. Yes,
It's
yes,
horrible,
yes,
yes,
yes.
yeah.
Every yeah. All right.
Well, next question then we have from Jared. Which job platforms will you recommend for graduates?
So I
Job
think we
platforms, so, like,
already talked about,
JobStreet or,
yeah,
like,
JobStreet,
once-
LinkedIn,
yeah, LinkedIn.
the career fair, which
Indeed?
takes place in JCU. Indeed, of
Yeah,
course,
Indeed.
Indeed is pretty good. You have Naukri as well, Naukri.com.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, but
Oh,
it's
I see.
one of the portals, you can apply.
Personally, I would suggest LinkedIn.
That's the
Yeah.
big dog.
LinkedIn, because your
Absolutely.
CV is already there.
Yeah.
Like when you're applying for it, you're applying with that CV, and then it's
Just
all already structured
Yeah.
to the way that
Recruiters seek to know.
recruiters
Yeah.
already seem to know, and they know what they're looking for. If you
Yeah.
have that in your LinkedIn, it's already half the battle won.
Yes.
You know,
Mm.
it's for me, I feel like LinkedIn's a much easier way to apply for jobs and to find relevant jobs, because companies are a lot more active in LinkedIn. For some reason, I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
personally,
Yeah, definitely. In fact, LinkedIn has this feature as well where it's a recruiter thing.
Oh.
So companies do have an access to that. It's like, how we can get premium.
Hmm.
So they have an access to recruiters. So when
Yeah,
they search,
wow.
they could, look for the right candidate.
Yeah, exactly.
Keywords and everything. So
Yeah, exactly.
I had no idea.
yeah, that's
Wow.
something new.
Oh, now you know.
Now I know.
Yes.
Okay, so we have another question. What are some of the hot jobs in Singapore you've noticed so far? So thank you for the question, first of all, and maybe what do you think? What are the hot jobs?
Probably like popular jobs.
Yeah,
I think it
popular.
depends on the field, right?
Yeah, it's hard to
Field
say.
as well.
Like, yeah, if you had a specific field in mind, then maybe that can help.
Yeah.
But I think what I have seen is a lot of IT roles.
Yeah,
Mhm.
things
IT,
with AI, right?
AI,
Yeah.
IT cloud. So a lot of
Mm.
those kind of
Well,
roles.
certainly with psychology, that's mental health. It's becoming more popular now.
Oh,
It
definitely,
is
definitely,
absolutely.
yes,
It's picking up.
yes.
It's picking up.
Yeah, especially mental health and AI, because I noticed a lot of recent conferences, they all have the theme
Yeah.
of AI, like generative AI or stuff like that has to do with mental health and mental well-being.
Yeah.
So these are definitely the up and coming themes,
Yeah.
especially for psychology. I feel,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we have another question here from Jenny. What is the stay back period after diploma, undergraduation, and master's program? Stay back.
I think I can answer that question if you don't
I
mind.
think, as
Jay
far as
here.
I know, there is no stay back period.
Well, what's a stay back period for everyone else?
Guys, can
What
I?
I think is when I did the 6-month course, I had 1 month to stay back after university. I could stay in Singapore and then, look
Oh,
for
I
jobs.
see.
So what I think it could be that.
Oh, a bond. I think that's what they're
Like
a
talking
bond.
about, like a bond,
Maybe,
like a bond.
maybe.
Like sometimes when you are here on a scholarship or
Mhm.
stuff like that, upon graduation, in Singapore, it's quite often
Yeah.
common to have like a bond where you have to serve in
2 to
I
3
think they
yeah,
are
2 to 3, yeah.
Yeah,
So
internship,
serious,
or
yeah,
you
exactly.
pick up
You gotta pick up something to
That's
stay
different,
in.
yeah.
I see.
Yeah, same.
Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
maybe I can take that question as well. So basically, stay back option, right? Like what Gurlin said, is it's 30 days after the completion of the program, but that can be extended another 30 days, so maximum around 60 days. And after that, within that time frame, if any student has found a full-time job, then of course employer will be able to apply for a work visa, which will be of 2 years to start with, and then subsequently can be renewed based on, of course, company's policies. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
We
Okay.
can.
Yeah, so if that makes sense, Jenny, to answer. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you to the person that was filling us in. We had no idea.
Yeah.
Another question here then is how can I use my network to find job opportunities? Take it away.
Well, like I said, once you reach out to the potential recruiters, and they might not have an opportunity for you at the moment, but if you give in your CV and you can tell them that you're actively looking out, for jobs. If in future they might have something, they will reach out to you.
Mhm.
If not, keep tracking down their website, the career fairs, the website on the company website, and just keep seeing if there's any new job. Apply for it.
Mhm.
Reach out to that person who you had face-to-face conversation with.
Yeah.
So I think just following up. Constant following up and just checking in with them, like hi, is there any new opportunity, and if there is, I'm still looking out.
Mhm.
So I think that that might help.
Yeah, would you agree on that?
Yeah, definitely. But I feel like networking, right, for how to use your network to find job opportunities. More often than not, when you know somebody, right, you meet somebody, you're acquainted with
Yeah.
somebody, and you just ask them, do you have any job opportunities? And they will be like, oh yeah, why not? And people are more than willing to help. Definitely, you should always ask and follow up. It's like what you said, follow up with people, keep the network going.
Keep knocking on the door.
Keep knocking on the door. Yes,
Absolutely.
I think there was once that I found I was at the end of my contract. It was a 2-year contract, and then I was looking for a job.
Yeah.
So I was constantly bugging my boss. Is like, my contract's ending, the project is ending. I can't continue here anymore.
Something else.
Yeah, is there anything else? And she really actively, she was a very nice person. She really actively went out to seek her network to find me a job. And I was able to very easily transition from the end of my contract to beginning a new contract with a new project that way. Yeah, exactly. And then it helps you jump that interview
Yeah.
phase as well, because you
Yeah.
already have
Put
an
in.
internal referral. You already have an internal referral.
Yeah.
And the person definitely would have said something nice about you. If not, they wouldn't
Mm.
actually have helped you with the job. Yeah.
So we have another question. What are the entry requirements for undergraduate and postgraduates here in JCU?
Um,
Hi
Yeah.
guys, again, I think you might not be able to answer that question. I'm Jay here, by the way. I'm from student
Yes,
admissions
Jay.
team.
Hi.
I'm not sure whether you are able to see me or not. Yeah. Again, yeah. So entry requirement question. I think the webinar is meant for a conversation. So if you guys have any questions related to programs, entry requirements, and stuff like that, you can email it to us. Okay, because nationality-wise, academic qualification differs. For foundation, postgraduate, undergraduate, entry requirement differs as well, based on the academic qualification and nationality. Yeah, so we'll put our email ID in the chat group. If you have a specific question on specific course, entry requirements, course fees, admission process, you can email it us separately so that we do not take too much time in the webinar. Thank you so much, guys.
Well,
Thank you, Jay.
thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay.
Our magical voice saving us once again. Now one last question then. If there's one key point that you want our listeners to take away and truly remember from today's session, and in one sentence, what would that be? If you were to sum it up in one sentence, what would it be?
I guess for me, it'll be experience matters. Like what I've been saying all throughout, experience really matters. It matters so much, especially when you are a fresh grad and you are going to enter the workplace. Experience is what sets you apart,
Yes,
from other people.
short and sweet. How about you, Gary?
Well, I think dream big and start small.
Mm.
That's the quote I think I really abide by. That literally helped me through. Yeah.
All right. Well, before we go, let's sum up today's insightful discussion. Nicholas and Gurleen, thank you for sharing your
Thank you.
experiences
Thank you.
post-graduation. From networking tips to how a university prepares you for today's workplaces, it's evident the path that you took with James Cook University aligned with where you are right now.
Yeah, and for those interested in exploring our programs and vibrant community at James Cook University Singapore, feel free to visit our website and check out our social media platforms for more information.
We'd love to hear from you and to join us again for upcoming Authentic Conversations webinar on Ask Me Anything, which is an unfiltered Q&A with our teachers happening here on the 17th of October from 12 to 12:45 p.m. in the afternoon, where you can hear from more of our student marketers and even some lecturers.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us today. We truly appreciate your time. Until next time.
Keep
Exploring, keep learning, and stay curious.
Thank you.
Thank you.